anybody is green, let me tell you, it's our farmers. We cannot neglect our rust belts and our cars, and I've talked about that, and what I would do is if I'm going to be giving any money to the big three or the Detroit three, I would come with the conditions that we have shares, that we have a seat on the board of control or the econ, and that we have a control over the types of automobiles that are produced and the pensions the workers have. We need to look at all aspects of the economy, and specifically, I've almost run out of time. I'll have to answer it in the second half. Specifically, we need to empower the cities to take the necessary steps.
Thank you. Andrea?
Thank you very much. I actually don't disagree with any of the great work that our staff and others have already put together in terms of our vision around the green economy. And if you look at our last platform, it was fabulous. We had some really great pieces in there, and I agree with them. But I think there's another opportunity that's right before us at this moment. We know that governments are looking for infrastructure investment opportunities. We also know that most communities are clamoring for better transit systems, for light rail. We know up in the north, from doing a debate up there not too long ago, that they're looking to get goods back on the rails and off of the roadways and the highways, because those highways are taking a battering from those trucks.
And the frost.
And the frost, yeah. And so what I really do believe is that we have a legacy opportunity in this province right now to really focus that investment on light rail systems all across the province. We have a plan called Metrolinx that's out there, but it's got a huge timeline. It's got a huge timeline on it. We can reduce that timeline. We get the raw resources from the north, make them into steel in Hamilton, make passenger cars in Thunder Bay, and we make cargo cars in Hamilton. We have everything we need to get that happening now.
Well, I think we're all like kumbaya on the basic issue, and that is, as Peter says and others say, we understand as social democrats, because we are social democrats, that we need to change the way this economy works. And one of the things that we see is a great opportunity when it's greening our economy, such as we're seeing what Obama has done and what the steelworkers are leading with in the United States. But one of the keys is to allow consumerism to work. And as social democrats, we don't like to talk about that. But let's think this through. How are you able to live a green existence if you can't afford to buy whatever is green? For example, I have a cottage. I'd like to put up a solar panel and a little wind turbine to supplement my energy needs. When I went and looked at the cost, I can't afford it, even at my wages, and the payback is like 25 years. There should be incentive programs through the savings of my hydroelectricity bill to be able to pay that back through the savings on my hydro bill and have some sort of incentive. If you do that, then you say that technology and the manufacturing has to be done in Ontario, and then we're able to help spear that economy that we so much want to build. I saw zero and I was going da-da-da-da-da. Sorry.
Only a minute. Only a minute. My God.
All right. All in favor of giving you an extra one.
Thank you. I appreciate the support.
Anytime, Peter.
If you look at the countries around the world that have been successful, the countries that are making the conversion are the ones that have government-driven programs. In Ontario, if every provincial building, every government-funded building had solar panels on the roof, had energy-efficient walls, had geothermal heat pumps, we would create the market right there. And because it would be government-funded, we could require the manufacturer be here in Ontario. We could create the markets, and we could put our people to work. That's the core of what has to be done. We have both a tremendous crisis and opportunity in the auto sector. We have to reshape auto making in this country so that it's green. But we also have the opportunity in reshaping it to make sure we're making the products of the future. We need to take that opportunity, and we need to take it now.
Thank you.
The first thing we need to do is to have a commitment by the government that sets out a long-term plan. In Germany, for the success they've had is because the German government set out a 25-year plan and guaranteed that the electricity would be bought. Nobody's going to invest in small little people who want to put a windmill up or want to put a solar panel on the roof. And nobody's going to, the banks aren't going to give money unless they know that there's a long-term commitment from the government to buy that electricity. We need a 25-year commitment from the government. The second thing is a very simple thing. We need to go out and change the building code. My God, that does not require any money from the government at all. To say that if you're building a new public institution, it has to have a green roof. And if you're building a new school, that it has to be properly insulated. And you know, all of those things can change and can change very, very rapidly. And then we can give incentives for the existing buildings to be built. That's what needs to happen. The conservation is the key, and the building code is the tool to do it at no cost whatsoever.
The building code is an important thing. I'm sorry, Andrea.
I'll cede.
jump on this one. Thank you. I want to talk a bit about auto because this is critical. In Michigan right now, the state government is looking at the auto sector and looking at auto parts suppliers and deciding which ones could be making renewable energy products. They've identified about 2,000. We need to do that systematic analysis here in Ontario and start putting the money in place to make the transition. In Toledo, Ohio, 6,000 people now work in their solar panel industry. The glass that is used in those solar panels is made by workers who used to make the windshields for cars. We have this extraordinary industrial base in Ontario, tremendous talents, amazing machinery that could be redirected, that could be diversified. So not only that we make green transportation products, but that we make all these other products as well. One of the obstacles to people taking on green products in their homes is the upfront capital cost. If we, in fact, did what Manitoba did, effectively lease the products to people's homes so you could lease a solar hot water heater, you'd see them on roofs all over Ontario.
Well, I'm really pleased
when you
to
break
see both,
that price barrier, that's
I'm
where
really
you go.
pleased to see both Gilles and Peter talk about my platform piece about affordable environmentalism.
We're all New Democrats.
Because I absolutely
I actually
believe that
wrote that
that's exactly
platform
what
for the
needs to be.
last election.
I
I
believe
actually
that's what
wrote
needs
it,
to be implemented. Certainly, we need to make
called a
sure
collective.
that every single person in Ontario can proudly call themselves an environmentalist. Every single person in Ontario, the immigrant woman, the single mom, the factory worker, everybody should be able to call themselves an environmentalist, and that doesn't happen right now because people can't afford to implement energy-saving options in their home, whether it's appliances, whether it's insulation, whether it's solar panels, whether it's geothermal. People don't have the capacity financially to implement those kinds of energy-saving devices. And so government needs to be there with an upfront program that helps them implement those kinds of programs. I also agree with Michael's point around LEED design. We have a system to put LEED design buildings in place. We know what that looks like. It should be happening. Every single building that gets built in this province should be on LEED design principles.
We're such a nice bunch of people. We agree. I like that. So listen, for us as Social Democrats, it's a pretty simple thing. And I think all of us, Peter, I acknowledge, did a lot of work on our last platform. Peter's done a lot of work on environmental along with Andrea, Michael, myself, and others. But the key to me is, and like I say, is that we need to allow an ability for the consumer to afford whatever technology or product that is there that allows them to live a greener existence. The problem that we have now is the cost often is out of reach. So yes, we need to do what Peter talks about, which is having strategies and how we turn our industry towards an industry that is more in line with building a greener type product at the end. But we need to engage consumers so that we can make choices ourselves in our everyday life, everything from public transit to being able to put a solar panel on your roof or to buy an energy efficient car. So we need to come at it from the perspective of the consumer as well.